2 days ago, on July 8th, an article came out about legendary billionaire investor Jim Rogers mentioning that silver is a good investment and that he's buying some more soon. He goes into great detail explaining why silver is the best and why you should get in now before it's too late. Well, I did make a video covering this article, but the Silver Academy yesterday also posted an article reflecting upon the same article about Jim Rogers as well. And they go into great detail that I wanted to also share and throw my 2 cents upon because it is very, very detailed. And some of the points they bring up just clearly shows how explosive silver is and why a successful super billionaire investor like Jim Rogers is focusing on silver and not gold and some other things. Yes, he does mention gold, but he clearly is saying silver is the best. Without further ado, let's jump into this article from the Silver Academy. I will post the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe because I post daily videos, and also make sure you like this video if you like the video. Buying silver is now a good investment, Jim Rogers. Gold's breaking records, but this metal is set to continue beating it, 102%. That's how much silver has rallied since it bottomed during the pandemic crash in March of 2020. That's crazy. Think about that. If you would have bought silver at $11 in March of 2020 when I was screaming at people to do so, and if you're a new stacker and you don't know that, that's true. Silver was $11 an ounce, $11 in March of 2020. I was screaming at people saying, you better get in now because you will never see this again. You will never see the gold to silver ratio at 125-1, meaning that silver is so undervalued compared to gold that we've never, in the 6,000 years, we've never seen the gold to silver ratio anywhere near that big, meaning that it takes 125 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. That's crazy. We'll be reading about that in history books, and I remember vividly mentioning that back then, as we are living in a crazy situation, and you better take advantage of $11 silver because it is going to skyrocket, that people hopefully took advantage of, and if you didn't, then man, you missed out. But anyways, if you haven't been following silver, this may come as a surprise. I mean, after all, gold's been getting most of the attention after it hit all-time highs, surging past $2,400 an ounce earlier this year. But the poor man's gold still has significant upside from its current levels, and I'm not the only one saying that. Just yesterday, I read an article featuring Jim Rogers, which is the article that I made a video about. You guys can go check that out as well. But as you know, Rogers is a legendary investor, billionaire, and a bona fide international man who has successfully completed 2 round-the-world trips and visited 116 countries. A longtime friend of Doug Casey's, he is someone worth paying attention to. And that's what I always mention. If you want to see what the most powerful countries, the biggest banks, and the most successful investors are doing, look at what they're doing because they're the ones that have the inside scoop. Follow these successful people. Follow the winners. And all of the winners, all the most successful countries, banks, and people are all buying silver. Do you think that's ironic? It is definitely not. Now, in said article, Jim Rogers said something that I found quite interesting. Here's the quote. "I have some gold, and I want to buy some more gold, too. If I were buying one today, I would buy silver because, silver is cheaper. I think silver is down 40% from its all-time high and gold is near its all-time high. So I would prefer to buy silver now. I bought some silver yesterday. I hope to buy some more if they go down." Now, that's a good point. If you look at something having potential, you look at where it's been before, where it's at now, and where it potentially could be headed. Well, since gold is already near all-time highs, it doesn't have much room to run because it's already sitting at the top. Silver is 40% from its all-time high. So we know silver can definitely reach up to $50 again because it's nowhere near that. So since silver also follows gold, which I think he mentions in a second, we know that inevitably will happen again, especially since gold is already near those highs, and we still have a lot of catching up to do with silver, and we could show proof with that by simply just looking at the gold to silver ratio itself. But regardless, he's mentioning silver is the better buy right now. If he had to choose one, he said he would pick silver. So Jim Rogers is, of course, absolutely correct. Gold has not yet hit its all-time high when adjusted for inflation. Now, at any rate, maybe they meant silver. Maybe he meant, of course, absolutely correct. Gold has not hit its all-time high when adjusted for inflation. At any rate, silver's discount relative to gold becomes even more obvious when you look at its price in real terms. In fact, its current price of $30 per ounce is 48% below its 2011 high of $57.11 adjusted for inflation, right? And that's important to note, folks. It was like $48 or $49 in 2011. It was not $57. The two times that silver was near 50 was in 1980. Silver was $50.36, and in 2011 it was like $49. So it's around the $50 range, right? We just say $50 both times. The Hunt brothers in 1980, and then in 2011 you had the same situation, not the same, nowhere near the same situation, but you also had $50 in 2011, and that was starting from 2008 credit financial crisis. You can actually see the chart right here. 2008 credit financial crisis, recession/depression, billions of dollars in stimulus, leading to $50 silver in 2011. In 1980, it was the Hunt brothers cornering the market, buying up all the silver on the COMEX and turning it into physical delivery, forcing the hand that we don't have enough. Government had to ban silver, Silver Rule 7, which shot the price back down all the way, leads to Silver Thursday, yada, yada, yada. You get the deal. But anyways, So at any rate, silver's discount relative to gold becomes even more obvious when you look at its price in real terms. But that's not even the highest price silver's ever reached. Take a look at the next chart. Back in 1980, silver shot up to $50.36, which would be about $170 in today's dollars. Oh, that's a good point, right? Because adjusted for inflation from back in 1980 is a lot higher than inflation from 2011. So that's $170 what silver reached technically. So put another way, silver would need to rise 5.8 times from its current price to match its inflation-adjusted peak. This makes it easy to see why Jim Rogers is so bullish on silver right now. But let's look deeper to understand why his silver versus gold investment thesis holds even more weight than it appears at first glance. Many people don't know, but silver tends to trail behind gold in performance. That's what I was mentioning earlier. That's why it didn't perform as well as gold in both 2022 and 2023, but has surpassed it in 2024. Exactly, folks. And that's why I like when people reflect and look back at statements and prove them with situations, especially with something as easy as dates. Because people say, oh, silver lags gold. Well, there's proof, right? We knew silver was nowhere near. Gold was the guy. In 2022, 2023, gold was the man. That was a front man. And then silver caught up. It always catches up. And now silver is. And gold got shot back. Remember, gold was the talk of the town. And I was telling everyone, just wait. Silver's turn will come. It has to. Look at the gold to silver ratio. It is going to. It just takes a bit. And we're nowhere near done, by the way. And historically, when silver catches up to gold, it tends to blow it out of the water. Just take a look at the chart below showing silver and gold performance during the pandemic year of 2020. So despite trailing in the first half, silver significantly outperformed gold in 2020, right? Remember, it was down to $11 in March of 2020, and then it shot up 60% by September. That is insane. That is insane. As you can see, silver trailed behind gold for much of the year, only to decisively overtake it in July, August. By year end, silver had significantly outperformed gold, gaining 45% compared to gold's 24%. And by the way, folks, did you know that silver was the #1 performing asset in 2020? Silver beat Tesla stocks, it beat Amazon, it beat gold, it beat Bitcoin. Silver was the #1 performing asset. And you could see why, because it was down to $11 and shot up 70%. So, well, not completely 70%, but you get the gist, right? Like up to 60-something% within only a couple of months. It was incredible. But nobody really covered that. If it would have been Tesla or something, or Bitcoin, everyone, or even gold, everyone would have been making articles about it. But since it was silver, the only person that really covered that and showed the data about that was me, and maybe a couple of articles that I also showed of that maybe one or two that I showed to show the patterns, or what other commodities came in second, third, fourth place. But yeah, that's what happened in 2020. So let's rewind further back in time so you don't think I'm cherry picking, to the late 1970s, early 1980s, when both gold and silver reached their all-time highs in real terms. During those years, we had high inflation, geopolitical tensions, and economic uncertainty, much like today, so investors flocked to gold and silver as safe haven assets. In the next chart, you can see how both metals shot up during that period. So 1970, silver and gold went vertical during the 1976 to 1980 period of high inflation. And you can see, it's near mimicking. Gold gained 415%, with silver returning more than double that, 857%. And it all followed the same pattern. Starting off behind gold, silver gradually caught up and surged ahead as the world entered the final year of the 1970s. Now, there are several reasons why silver tends to start slower but ends outperforming gold historically, and why I think it'll happen again this time around. First, like gold, silver is a precious metal. The word literally means money in dozens of languages, and that's no coincidence. But unlike gold, about 80% of silver is actually mined as a byproduct of industrial metal mining, or gold itself. So the silver supply doesn't react as directly or as quickly to higher prices like gold usually does. Then there's the size of the silver market. This is Doug Casey. The market dynamics of silver are very different from those of gold in a number of ways. One important consideration for an investor is that silver is a much smaller market, partly because an ounce of gold is worth about 80 times more than an ounce of silver. When people get interested in it, it tends to move explosively, right? It's a much smaller market. That's why you'll see silver manipulation a lot more dominant or prominent than gold manipulation. That's why you're going to see JP Morgan getting a $920 million fine and 2 of their employees getting sent to prison for manipulating the silver market, not gold. It's much, 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 much smaller than the gold market. So Doug is on the right money. The next chart illustrates just how small silver is compared to other metals. Take a look. So the global silver market is just 1/10 the size of the gold market. 1/10. You can see right here in billions, $20 billion, and you have gold at $196 billion. This is actually a pretty interesting chart. You can see that the silver market's only 1/10 the size of the global gold market. It's even smaller than zinc and nickel markets, which is very important to think about, folks. With a market this small, it only takes a small amount of money to push the price around. And large amounts of money can dramatically impact prices. This makes gold's more volatile cousin prone to sharper upside explosions, but also sharper downside collapses as well, downside crashes. That's why people call it the riskier metal, because it's higher highs but also lower lows. It's also why I call it gold on steroids. Now, if you're looking to invest in silver, it's crucial to know all the bets on silver or prices are created equal. Doug Casey always recommends holding precious metals in your long-term investment portfolio. Okay, then they go into like mining stocks. I'm not going to go into this. Just buy physical silver and hold it. Just do yourself a favor. Don't overcomplicate things. Build a nice foundation. Add weight. Make sure you have a lot of weight in your stack. Get, a couple thousand ounces or whatever you want, and then start branching off into other things like maybe some numismatic coins or mining stocks, or going into like the PSLV or something. But get some metal under your belt first. It's like building a house. If your house doesn't have a strong foundation, it's going to crumble. The physical metal in your own possession is what's most important, and then you can go into some of the riskier stuff, or going into some more of the niche stuff that's maybe not as liquid or easily sellable, or maybe just costs more money itself. You got to think about this all the way through. And building a foundation before getting into things that are that's a digit on a screen where it says your silver is being held in some vault with the custodian's name you can't even pronounce. Just think logically and make sure that you can hold your silver, because like I always say, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. So anyways, folks, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you want to become a member of the Secret Silver Society, which is a club for silver stackers that we do monthly silver raffles where each member, if you're an official member, gets one raffle ticket per month. If you're an elite member, which is $15 per month, you get 2 raffle tickets. Right now there are 10 members, so you have a 1 out of 10 chance of winning, and we do that on a monthly basis. And since it's membership based, you're just automatically winning or entering silver giveaways every single month while you're in this. So this is a cool way, you know, to get Patreon only videos. I'll be live streaming the monthly giveaway at the end of the month, and all the club members can see if they win. And, you know, it's much more likely that you'll be winning these than my channel giveaways that have thousands upon thousands of entries, except for just, you know, where here it's just like 10, 15 people. So it's really cool. You know, you have the members only discussion board. I'll be doing a lot of other perks on here as well. Early access to videos. You can DM me. It's just a cool way for us to engage and support the channel. And since you guys are actually, you know, a part of this Secret Silver Society, I'll be engaging with you. It's a much more personalized, individualized way to engage with me, interact, and also hang out with some of the other club members. I already see people introducing themselves in the members only discussion board. We'll be talking about different things, and it's just going to be a good time. So, you know, I can't really offer that on YouTube. Obviously, the YouTube comment section does not work like that. So this is a way, this is the place that I want to be able to, you know, build a community for all of us. And, you know, since it is $5 a month or more, then it weeds out all of the trolls or all of, you know, the people that we don't want anyway. So this is just a cool way if you want to support me and hang out some stackers while also potentially winning silver on a monthly basis. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys later today. Peace.